from out of Michigan right now, and it's great to see everyone.
Welcome, welcome. We are live. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald from Norwalk, Connecticut, and I'm very excited about this. I apologize that I'm not on camera. I have to get up so early in the morning, so I already have my bonnet on.
That's all
I
right. Welcome
apologize.
home. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to Born CEO Leadership Academy. We are super excited. And in fact, this is our second official um, Born CEO Academy, Born CEO Leadership Academy of the year. And I'm actually excited to share with you all that we are waiting to hear back from the Secretary of State because Born CEO Leadership Academy is becoming an official 501c3 nonprofit. And our mission is to inspire and equip youth and adults of all ages, especially teenagers and adults of all ages, with the principles for life change, whether it's personal development, leadership development, financial education, discovering their purpose, vocational skills, and just life skills in general, so that we can go out there and claim our freedom and live our purpose, live a fulfilling life, knowing that we're doing what we were born to do. And so I'm super excited to be here and to be back. If you have someone that you want to invite, it's not too late. Send them the link, tell them to get registered and join us. But welcome to Born CEO Leadership Academy. I'm Coach Fard Bell, founder of Born CEO Leadership Academy, best-selling author of the book Born to Rule, 7 Steps to Claiming Your Freedom and Living Your Purpose. And last week, we kicked it off with the first principle in the Born to Rule, in the 7 steps, which was become the queen or king of your domain. And it was a powerful discussion with insights and impact. We laughed together, we learned together, we cried together, we had breakthroughs together. And today is going to be a follow-up on that. If you missed last week, check out our YouTube channel. Just look up Coach Fard Bell BornCEO.com. You'll see the YouTube channel. The replay is there. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share it as well. But we're going to be sharing some life-changing principles, practical life principles, empowerment principles for breakthrough. If anybody's ever felt stuck in the process of fulfilling your dream, your goals, your vision, achieving time and financial freedom, so you have more time to do what you feel called to do in this life. And you can look back at the end of your life and say, yes, that was a life well lived. Or even, hey, whatever I had left, I made the most of that time that I had. That's what Born CEO Leadership Academy is all about. And so we have a special introduction. We like to have everyone unmute and go around and with the proper Born CEO introduction. And it's on the screen, these 4 parts. The first one, you're going to fill in the blank with your own name, but we share, hey, my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to become a reverse tither, where I'm in position to live on 10% of my income and use the other 90% to impact people's lives all over the world, helping people claim their freedom and live their purpose like we're doing here today. And my goal this year is to empower a dozen more families to be able to replace their full-time income and retire early if they choose to, so they have more time, retire from their jobs early if they choose to, so they have more time to live their dream and fulfill their purpose in life without worrying about how the bills are going to be paid. Once again, my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. So that's the format. When you say My Life Incorporated, you're taking responsibility for the gifts that you've been given and saying that I'm taking charge and I'm running my life like the CEO of my life. So that's where that phrase comes from. Fill in the blank with your name. And when you're talking about your dream and your goal, I want you to think beyond money. Think beyond, think, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do with the time freedom? when your family is already taken care of. And so let me actually start us off tonight before we do our introductions with the question, the most powerful question that I actually open up the book with, Born to Rule. And that question is, imagine if you had complete time and financial freedom right now. I want everybody to go into that mindset. Imagine you have complete time and financial freedom. All your bills are more than paid. More than paid. Your family's taken care of. Your personal needs are taken care of. You don't have to work for money anymore. In fact, it's coming in whether you work or not. So you got an extra 40, 50, 60 hours a week now that you used to have to work, but now you don't have to. You have options. You've got time freedom. The question is, in that scenario now, if you could only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world, using your gift, using all the resources you have at your disposal. And imagine again, you've got all the resources you need, the team you need, the support you need, the money you need. But if you could only do one thing to make a positive impact on this world, what problem would you solve, or what group of people would you be serving? So before you even answer these questions, I want you to get that in your mind, get that in your spirit, and just listen to yourself. What comes up for you first? And go ahead and unmute. And I want you to put that in number 2 when you share your dream. When you talk about your ultimate dream, I want you to work that into it. So who wants to go first? Go ahead and introduce yourself with the 4-part format. These are 4 short sentences, so it should only take 30 seconds. So 4 short sentences. Go ahead and fill in the blank, and we want to hear from everybody. Go ahead and unmute. Who wants to go first?
So good evening, everyone. This is Selena Scott coming out of St. John's, Florida.
And go ahead and use this 4-part format. Just fill in the blank, verbatim.
Okay. Okay. My name is Selena Scott, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream, given the scenario that you have, the picture you painted with all of the things being taken care of and the needs being provided, I am still taking care of the homeless. I am still making sure that their needs are met. I'm still making sure that they have their meds, like just everything. They have to be reformed. It's a whole process. And so I just want to make sure they go through that process successfully so they can get back on track. And my goal this year is to work on that. So I have one God has put on my mind, because I told you that I'm commissioned for this. And so I figured out how to find the address for the Jepida House. I'm going to get in contact with Pastor Lincoln, his brother, and find out what is the address to the Jepida House. So I am so stoked about that. I'm reaching out to him, just waiting for him to respond back. And once again, my name is Selena Scott, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Everybody unmute and make some noise. Woo woo!
Yes.
Woo.
Yes. I'm so happy for you, Selena. I remember you talking about that last week.
I
Let's
love it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's next? Jump right in.
My name is Eleanor Melvin, and I'm the CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help elderly get what they deserve, and my goal, I take care of people, and they have a lot of problems. And my goal this year is to get enough money to help people and my family. Once again, my name is Eleanor Melvin, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Yay.
Oh, come, we can do better than that, y'all. Unmute your line, make some noise.
Yay. Woo, woo, woo,
There we
woo.
go. All right, who's next? Go ahead and use this
Okay.
format.
My name is Coach Cindy Soto, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to have a nonprofit for young people to get financial freedom, to know how to, before they exit high school, to know how to manage their finances. And my goal this year is to open my nonprofit and serve people in the financial field. Once again, my name is Coach Cindy Soto, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Woo,
All right.
woo.
Who's next? Jump right in. If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn.
My name is Nicole Fitzgerald, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help women who have been affected by domestic violence. I am a survivor, so that's part of my heart. And my goal this year is to start a women's ministry to help those women. Once again, my name is Nicole Fitzgerald. I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Woo, woo.
All right. Who's next? If you
I'll
haven't
go
gone yet,
next.
it's your turn. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to become a resource person for the young people that are struggling with what they want to do after they finish high school. My goal this year is to get it started. Once again, my name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Woo.
All right. And for those just joining us, we start off, when you think about your dream, imagine you have complete time and financial freedom, all your bills are paid, your family's taken care of. And if you could only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world, using your gift, what one problem would you solve, or what one group of people would you serve? Share that in number 2 when you share your ultimate dream. Who's next? If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn. We want to hear from everybody real quick. Just use this 4-part format. Keep it nice and simple.
Okay, I'll go. My name is Tranelle Harris, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to basically have community centers across the country that focus on helping people find and develop their gifts, and then also find and lead them to being able to have their own freedoms, whatever freedom means for them. And my goal this year is to I do that in a way already with some folks, but I really want to be able to focus more on my son and help my son more with that, and do more traveling, include traveling to some other countries, which we actually plan on doing at the end of this year, going to Africa together for the first time. So this year I plan on really focusing more and putting myself in a position to be able to help my son do exactly what I want to continue doing with other people, as I've been doing with him his whole life. And once again, my name is Tranelle Harris, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. Thank
Make
you.
some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Woohoo!
All right, who hasn't gone yet? It's your turn. Jump right in. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, go to BornCEO.com/BCLA. Click the link, it'll send you to Zoom. You can jump on here live with us, or post your comments in the chat below. If you're watching us on YouTube, post that in the comments below as well with your answers. Who's next? If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn.
I'll go. My name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to establish that center for divorced women where they get their confidence back, have a purpose in life, and just have a fulfilling life. And my goal this year is to help retirees like me bridge that gap in income retirement. Once again, my name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Make some noise, everybody. Woo, woo. Who's next? Who hasn't gone yet? If you're just joining us, think about, imagine your life. You got complete time and financial freedom. You got all the resources you need, the money you need. You don't have to work for money anymore. You've got an extra 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but you can only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world. What would that one thing be? What problem would you solve? What group of people would you serve? What's the first thing that comes to mind for you? Share that in number 2. If you haven't gone yet, use this 4-part format. Let us know who you are so we can celebrate you. Who's next?
Good evening. This is Valerie Harris. My name is Valerie Harris, and I am a born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to be able to become a senior director. And my goal for this year is to look out and continue to help other people who need the services that will actually provide for them as best as could be. So once again, my name is Valerie Harris, and I'm sorry, and I'm born a CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Make some noise, everybody. Woo, woo.
Woo, 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 woo.
Welcome, welcome. All right, who hasn't gone yet? Jump right in.
Good evening. My name is Angela Benjamin, and I am the born CEO of My Life. My ultimate dream is to use the education and resources that we're growing through real estate to be able to ultimately focus more on land development for healing centers, retreats, and spaces that focus on food as medicine. So once again, and my goal this year is to reopen my company on a different level and be a better delegator. And once again, my name is Angela Benjamin, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Make some noise for my big sister, y'all. Woo, woo.
Big. Let's go, let's go.
All right.
Who's next?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jarrell Bell, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream, man, I have so many ultimate dreams to be honest with you all, but I guess the first one would be to develop a strong family business. My goal this year is to learn as much as I can about financial empowerment, financial education, to be able to share that with my friends because it requires a network to be able to get anything done. And when you can help inspire other people around you, they are more likely to work with you and to grow and help you build as well. And once again, my name is Jarrell Bell, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Make some noise for my nephew, y'all. Woo, woo.
All right.
All right.
The next generation. Who's next? If you didn't go yet, it's your turn. That might be everybody. Was there one more person? Miss Heather, did you go? Let's see. Faith, did you go? If you're just joining us, imagine.
Yeah, I'm just joining.
If you're just joining, before you answer, think about, imagine if you have complete time and financial freedom, all your bills are more than paid, and you can only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world using your gift. What would that one problem be that you solve, or the one group of people you would serve? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Share that when you get to number 2. But go ahead and introduce yourself using this 4-part, simple, short sentence format.
My name is Coach Faith Abraham, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help other people with chronic illness like me, who are retirement age, build an income that will sustain them for the rest of their lifetime and help them have the medical services and care that they need. Once again, my name is Coach Faith Abraham, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right, before we share for her, what's number 3 for you?
Oh, my goal this year is to become a senior director and recruit 5 active partners to help me on this mission.
All right, and for those that don't know what you do, it sounds like get promoted in your business, yes?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
No, I got you covered. Everybody make some noise for her as well. Woo woo!
Yeah.
And just so for those who don't know, this BornCEO Leadership Academy is not about any particular business. It's not about any particular vehicle. It's not about a company. It is a mission, a movement of people from every walk of life, every background, different career paths, who all are coming together to claim our freedom and live our purpose, to grow together, to learn from each other, and to take our lives to the next level, so that when we look back on our lives, we can look back and say, wow, I did not waste my life. I used the best of my life, the rest of my life, to make a difference, the difference that I was born to make on this earth before I left. And here I helped increase my confidence, my clarity, my support network, the community, the mindset, the skill set, the growth, the implementation, the resources. Some of you are here, you got the dream clear, but you're waiting for the resources or looking for the resources. Some of you are here, you have the resources and you're waiting for the dream to invest in. I'm telling you, as you share your dream and your vision and get more and more comfortable sharing it and more clear as you share it every week, you have no idea who's going to hear what you're seeking and connect with you and go, oh my gosh, you're the person I've been looking for. The next person a part of your dream team may be right here on this line, or might be linked to that person that you're looking for your dream team. So there's a method to my madness, everybody. When you share in this format and get clearer and clearer every week, you get more confident. You get the mindset, the skill set, the success stories, the inspiration. Welcome again to BornCEO Leadership Academy. Now, tonight's topic is about step 2 in the 7 steps to claiming your freedom and living your purpose. Last week, step 1 was become the queen or king of your domain. We talked about different ways to get clear on your purpose, on your gifts, because all the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your purpose. I know a lot of times, I know the big 3. I've been on this mission since God gave me my vision and my assignment when I was 6 years old, and trying to figure out my purpose and putting the pieces together. And when I found out early on this message would never go away, you're going to help people get clear on their gift and their calling, their purpose, and get free to do it. And I've been talking to people about their goals, their dreams since I was a teenager. And the big 3 concerns that always come up are, number 1, where am I going to find the money? Once I figure it out. Number 2, where am I going to find the time? And number 3, where am I going to find the clarity or confidence that I need and support to actually make it happen? And so I heavily address those 3 concerns, because what happens when you do have the clarity and the confidence and the support that you need? What happens when you do have the time that you need, or you realize you already have it? And what happens when you do have the money that you need, the resources that you need, or realize it's already available to you, and you have the right mindset? You become unstoppable. And I can tell you, for those who are in business, if you are having success in your business without being clear on your purpose in life and your calling, watch the level of success you can have, where everything you do flows out of you, who you were born to be. You haven't experienced that level of success until you're in alignment with who you were born to be and what you were called to do. So that's what last week was about. If you missed it, catch the YouTube channel. Look up Coach Farbell YouTube and you'll see the replay from last week. Tonight, we're in chapter 2 of the book, Born to Rule, 7 Steps to Claiming Your Freedom and Living Your Purpose. When I wrote this chapter, the power of choice is one of the most powerful gifts we've ever been given. And I wrote a poem and put it in the back of the book. But I want to start tonight with that poem because it's loaded with what I mean by when I say I am the born CEO of my choices. In fact, everybody repeat that to yourself. I am the born CEO of my choices.
I am the born CEO.
You can unmute and say it. Repeat after me. I am the born CEO of my choices.
I am the born CEO of my choices.
Born
So
CEO of my choices.
I call this poem Become the Leader You Were Born to Be. Pay attention to every single word. There's somewhere a king who owns the earth and everything in it at large. He built it from scratch and set it all up, but placed his kids in charge. He gave them a gift to learn to use and told them to heed his voice. Use it wisely and win, use it poorly and lose. This great gift is the gift of choice. Remember that you can choose to win and that you can choose to be free because it's never too late for you to become the leader you were born to be. Let's talk about the power of choice tonight. Chapter 2, own your choices. Let's have some dialogue. What stands out to you all in this poem about choice? Let's have a little dialogue first. What stands out to you? Give us a quick 10 seconds or so. What jumps out at you as you see this? And we're talking about the power of owning our choices. Jump right in.
I'll jump. We have the choice to be happy and positive, or we have the choice to be negative all day. I choose to be positive.
Powerful. I love it. It's a choice. It's interesting, the power of choice. Who's next? Thank you, Evelyn.
I see here where it says he builds it from scratch and sets it all up, but he places his kids in charge, meaning that for me, that looks like he has an opportunity to build something great, but then he puts, irresponsible people or someone less than him or something like that. He puts other people in charge of something that it's his dream. He's putting somebody in charge of his dream. That's what I got out of it.
Interesting insight. We're going to get into that tonight. I love it. Thank you. Ms. Trinell.
To kind of piggyback on what she said, he moved, or he basically provided an option or a choice for his kids to be able to make. And his kids were able to either make the choice to follow suit or to not follow suit. And it's interesting that this is the example, just real quick, because my father, he was an artist and he left a lot of his artwork to me, giving me the choice to take it further or not, even though of course he wanted me to take it further, but it was still my choice, even though that was his part of his life's work.
Powerful. Thank you for your thoughts and insights. I love it. Thank you. Who's next? Miss Selena Scott? You on mute? Little microphone in the bottom left corner. There you are.
Okay. All right. So actually I have several different thoughts. But I do want to go ahead and start with where everyone is on how he built it and then he gave it to his children. Well, my thought would be, the word of God says that you build or that you would pass on inheritance to your children and that you would, have something left, that you would build an empire like, Lord bless, we're going to build in our business. And then we have something that we get to leave our children. I believe, for me, that's where that resonates, that He built it, but he gave it to his children. He left them because you have to teach them. Teach and train up a child in the way that they should go. You have to teach them the business. And then last but not least, I want to just touch on how you use it wisely and win, use it poorly and lose. And that's the choice that we all have each and every day. We choose to, it's the decision, the choices that we make that causes us to win or to lose. And so prayerfully, you know, we think on those things. Like we have to be careful, are we winning or are we losing? That's something, and I digress.
Powerful insights. No, thank you for sharing. All right, Miss Angela.
Yeah, thank you. On that, I felt that the message was that we are God's children, and God has given us choice. And so, that can be replayed out in every move that we make, including having our own children on this earth. But when we question as to why things are the way they are, or we attempt to try to say, well, God, why is this and why is that? And God has given us choice, and we are the children He's giving that choice to.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Let's stop right there for a moment. Thank you for sharing that. That is the breakthrough that I had. And it's part of the very title of the book, Born to Rule. For those who don't know my story, I shared it last week. By the time I was 6 years old, I didn't want to be alive because I didn't think I had any value. Went through a bunch of issues, daddy issues, mama issues, always the new kid in school, heavily teased. And then on top of that, my name is Fard. And it was hard having the name Fard growing up. And that was my big sister y'all just heard from, my biological real sister. And I remember I was kind of hanging in there. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me was one day when I overheard the teachers making fun of my name, and they didn't see me walking by. And my belief system when I was younger was that adults knew everything. And so if the adults are saying the same things about me that the kids are saying about me, then everything the kids are saying must be true also. So I started believing the lies. My disempowering beliefs started to deteriorate my self-worth. And by the time I was 6 years old, struggling with asthma attacks, I started thinking maybe dying from asthma is not such a bad idea. And one day I have this dream. The Lord shows up in my dream. I didn't grow up in church. I'm not here to promote a religion or any of that stuff. But the message I got in that dream was, hang in there. I'm with you. I'm pleased. And I'm keeping you alive because there's something important you were born to do. I was filled with this unconditional love like I never felt before. And I was just in awe when I was in the dream, and when I woke up, the presence was still there, the love was still there, and I didn't know what to make of that, to be quite honest. But the next day I'm up the hill, Landover, Maryland. My best friend's house lived up the hill, running across the street like I normally would to go home, slipped and fell, and before I could get up, I hear tires screeching behind me, and I just braced myself because I know I'm not gonna make it. This truck is about to run me over. The guy is looking for my dead body under the truck. My best friend's in the door with his mouth wide open, and I get up without a scratch. The tires barely touch my back, and they knew it was impossible. I knew it was impossible, and all I could remember was the dream I just had the night before. I'm keeping you alive because there's something important you were born to do. That day in 1986, I went from not wanting to be alive to all I wanted to know is, what is this thing I was born to do that you're protecting me for? I want to figure that out. And all I want to do is spend the rest of my life living that purpose. That journey took me on. My mom loved music, and most of the schools we went to had a performing arts program and introduced us to the arts. I'm surrounded with all these gifted people. And that same voice from the dream would say, you see that person? They've got a gift, but look at those people over there. It might not be music, it might not be any of these other things, but they have a gift too. That bus driver has a gift that they're not using. That homeless person has a gift that they're not using. That message never went away my entire life. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? You're going to help people get clear on their gift and empower them to use it and get free. What does that even mean? Fast forward, I go live with my stepdad at 14 years old. He's listening to, always reading and learning, smartest man I ever met that never went past the 8th grade. But I started listening to Napoleon Hill and heard him talk about purpose and successful people. I started learning about hearing stories about people who freed their time, created early retirement income through real estate investing and having other streams of freedom. And I went, wait a minute. So if I embrace entrepreneurship and I free my time, I could retire early and I don't have to wait till I'm retirement age, and I can spend the rest of my life figuring out my purpose and living it instead of working to pay bills. Count me in. So my first goal was to find a way to retire by 25 years old. My email address was retiredb425@AOL.com. And I was looking for a plan, looking for mentorship, but that put me on this path. And in that process, I ended up finding some amazing mentors. I ended up being able to retire from corporate America 40 years early at the age of 22 years old. It freed up my time more than anything. It freed my mind that I'm not just somebody's employee. I'm not just a consumer. Like, I have the access to resources beyond my circumstances if I just incorporate the right principles. When I was 16 years old, I wrote on my Facebook. It was like Facebook back then, AOL back in the day. If anybody remembers, that was like the first Facebook instant messenger. And I wrote on my page, we're all born CEOs. Some of us just haven't incorporated. We're all born CEOs. We just need the right coaches. And so that journey, and when I named the book Born to Rule, it means that we were literally, when I started to, the most life-changing book I ever read is the Bible. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, any successful person, I have met hundreds of multimillionaires. I've met 6 or more billionaires in person. And one of the questions I love to ask are, what are the 3 most impactful books that have led to your success? And without fail, 2 of the top 5 books that always show up on the list are the Bible and Think and Grow Rich. If you don't know those books, the Bible and Think and Grow Rich always pop up, even people from different faiths. And so that's called a clue. And as I read any book on success, I realize, wow, every single thing I've ever read on success is in the Bible. And so I shared last week, for those who didn't catch it, I was confused when I first started reading the Bible. Like, what am I reading? You know, is this a religious book? And I started realizing this is not about religion. This book, the first 3 chapters, and here's my recommendation for those, this changed my world. The first 3 chapters of the Bible give us God's plan on earth. God's plan, the history of God's plan for us on earth. And it's related to this point. And then the last 3 chapters of the Bible, Revelations, the last 3 chapters, paint a picture of the future of God's plan on earth. And I couldn't understand my purpose until I understood his plan. And once I started to understand his plan, I realized that my role, my purpose in life is my role in his plan in this generation. So the first 3 chapters of the Bible give us the history of God's plan for us, and we can find our purpose in it. The last 3 chapters tell us the future. They're actually identical. The first 3 chapters looks exactly like the last 3 chapters. The first 3 chapters, everything was perfect, paradise. He put his children on earth, gave them everything. There was no corruption, no pain. Here we go. Look, I wrote this down. We talked about this a little bit. Genesis chapter 2, 1 through 15. It was a paradise. No pain, no sorrow, no poverty, no disease, no sickness, no death, no destruction, no hunger, no corruption, no man-made religion, no political issues, no stress, no bosses to work for, no bills to pay. Life was perfect. Life was perfect. Just love, freedom, and abundant life. And that was when they said, all right, I choose to follow my father's rules. How many have children on here? How many have children? Teenagers, young adults. Imagine you leave them in charge of the house. You go out of town, you leave them in charge. The oldest is in charge. They've got siblings as well. They're in charge. And you leave the house rules. And as long as they stay within the house rules, they're protected. Everything is fine. But the minute they go buck wild and change the rules, deviate from the plan, all of a sudden they're calling you, Mom, what had happened was, Dad, what had happened was, but you left them in charge. I'm going somewhere with this. So they messed up. They decided to go a different route. And then the rest of the Bible starts to tell the story of how all of a sudden it went from paradise to chaos. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, now there's pain, now there's sorrow, now there's poverty, now there's disease, now there's sickness, now there's death, now there's destruction, now there's hunger, there's corruption, there's man-made religions, there's political issues, stress, more their bosses to work for, bills to pay, and wouldn't it be nice if life could go back to the way it was in the beginning? And I shared last week, the good news is, in the last 3 chapters, that's exactly what happens. Life goes back to the way it was in the beginning. Earth is restored. A new heaven, a new earth is restored. No more corruption, no more pain. So here's what I realized. That's the future. The last 3 chapters. The first 3 chapters told us the history. Everything else in the middle, including our lives today, is the journey between the two. And as you read the story, it's like the best movie ever. I mean, I like Marvel movies. Anybody like Marvel movies, adventure movies? This is the best movie ever. I'm like, give me this movie. It's amazing. And guess what? Our life is a part of the story. We're a character in the story. Our gift, our purpose, the thing that we feel called to do, to the difference we feel called to make, is part of our role within the plan. So I started realizing, wait a minute. He put us in charge. He put us in charge. So guess what? The king, that's him. The earth, he created it for us, put us here. Everything was perfect. He laid out the house rules. As long as they followed the house rules, they didn't have a worry in the world. Once they broke the house rules, corruption set loose. And he said, you ever have children, you tell them, don't touch that hot stove? Or something like that, and they just got to touch the hot stove themselves and see for themselves? And what do? You hate them, you kick them out, you say, oh, you're going to go to hell? No. He said, all right, you messed up. I told you you messed up, but guess what? I got a plan to get you back on track. That's how the story goes. I'm like, whoa, nobody ever explained this to me like this. I heard the religious perspective of the Bible. I heard all these things. Nobody ever explained it to me. When I started reading it for myself, I'm like, what? This is the most amazing story on the planet. This is the movie, and I'm in it. So we are the kids. And our choices, when we are connected, when we do what I call putting our crowns back on, and we realize how much power we've been given, the authority we've been given, the gifts that we've been given, I'm telling you, we have the power to change the world. Whenever I get a chance to speak to someone or a group, whether it's one person, whether it's a homeless person, whether it's a wealthy person, I got a chance to pray with some billionaires. I mean, no matter who it is, how many people in the room, that question I ask you all, what would that one thing be that you would do in this world if you had the freedom to make that impact? The most beautiful things start to flow. And my question for you all, think about all the beautiful answers that we heard tonight. What would this planet look like if we all actually did it? Let me ask the real question. What will this planet look like when we all actually do it? We don't have to sit back and go, somebody ought to do something. Oh, this world is just so bad. This community is just so corrupt. It's just going down. That's because the king's kids don't know who they are and haven't stepped up to be who they were born to be and do what we were born to do about it. Let's talk about it. Who's got some comments, questions? What are your thoughts, Miss Faith?
Wow. I really just am piggybacking on the idea and the concept of being the recipients of a rich inheritance.
Mm.
And what comes to my mind is the immense treasure it is to only have to reproduce, to not have to be responsible for the original production, but to literally have a template to follow. So not only did he give us all the treasure of what he created, he gave us a template to expand his territory and our purpose. And so it makes me think about the passage in the Bible that talks about the story of Esau, how Esau wanted the blessing, but not the birthright. So in other words, he wanted to partake of the gifts without implementing the responsibility of the legacy.
Whew.
And so what that carries for us is the authority to continue to reproduce, because when we pass legacy, when we take on the responsibility of legacy, we have legacy to hand down, which continues the circular cycle that you referenced when you said the book started with the future, basically, and ended with the plan, and then ended with the future, which was the original plan. And so when we take on that birthright, the blessing continues to recycle. That's my 2 cents.
Ooh, that was not 2 cents, sister. That was like 2 billion. Come on, somebody. Wow, put up some hearts in the chat. Love it. Thank you. Miss Gant.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to say that was powerful what you shared. That was fire. I was like, wait a minute.
What part?
Just the part about your story, because I have a son, so I have 3 sons, and I have one of my sons that when I was pregnant with him, the Lord told me that he was going to be great. But in that greatness, there always is some hardship, right? And so his life has always been tested all the time. And he's in his 20s right now, so it's even greater right now. And he's peculiar, but peculiar is good in the Bible. And so right as you were speaking, oh, I don't want to cry. But as you were speaking, I said, thank you, Lord, because I needed to hear that. Because as you go through, like you said, you were going through, but you came out of it when you found out what God wanted you to do. And I'm excited because that's where I want to see I know that's where he's going to be. But right now I'm in that wilderness, so I got to wait. And that wilderness sometimes gets rough, but he always comes around and confirms that it's coming. It's coming. So your story was very impactful to me. So the second half of what I was going to say is, today when I was reading in the Bible to go coincide what you were talking about in Deuteronomy 28 and, well, I can't even see, 1. It says, now if you faithfully obey the Lord your God and are careful to follow all his commandments, I am giving you today, the Lord your God will put you far above all the nations on the earth. All these blessings will come and overtake you because you obey the Lord your God. You will be blessed in the city. You will be blessed in the country. Your offsprings will be blessed, and your lands produce, and your offsprings of your livestock include your young of herds, and your newborn flocks. Your baskets and knitting bowls will be blessed. You will be blessed when you come in, and you will be blessed when you go out. So I read that today. It just happened to be, and it's just going along with what you're saying. And I know that for me, part of my season right now is in the wilderness, and I keep telling myself, if you just be obedient, you won't have to be like the disobedient children of Israel who had to wait 40 years to get to the promised land. I don't want to wait 40 years. So I just try to stay aligned. I keep on saying, Chantel, because if you stay aligned, you can get there faster. They would have been there faster if they would have did what they're supposed to do. So all the goals, all the places, all the things we trying to do, we can get there if we just be obedient, like you were saying. So I love it. Right on point. I'm so glad I got on. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you got on. And we'll be praying for your son and for you and the family. You reminded me something my mom told me that I didn't know or I didn't remember when I was a child. She said, when I was pregnant with you, I think I asked her, where did my name come from? How did I get the name Fard? Like, where'd that come from? You know, I'm from America. You know, like, how did I get an Arabic name? And my grandmother, she said that my grandmother called, and my sister's on the line, my older sister. She said before she passed, she said, when my mom was pregnant with me, she said God showed up in her dream and said, this is to be his name. He's special. This is to be his name. And my name means obligated servant of God. So I went through a whole lot because of that name. But when I look back on my life and everything that I went through, it was all a setup for me to discover what I was born to do, which is what I'm doing right now. Who else? Talk to us. What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What's jumping out for you?
Well, this is Selena. For me, when you were talking, I was thinking about how the path is already laid for me. My pastor, bless his heart, he's gone on with the Lord. And I was in that church for over 10 years when he was building all this. Well, yeah, because it's several churches, but my thought is that the blueprint is already there. Pastor Vision, we know what Pastor, he had a heart of gold. Oh God, we don't know why God takes certain people. But I just tell you, I just no way I could feel his shoes. But I know that God is going to I already have vision for what I need to do. God does have already given me breadcrumbs of, how to do things. And the building is already in place. The foundation has already been laid. I'm basically it's like being past the mantle. And Pastor believed in that. When the oil flows from the top, it flows down. it flows down on the congregation. It flow impartation. Pastor always talked about that kind of stuff. And, only God, we just, I don't know. I'm just humble. I'm so humble to be like, God, like to think that you would even give me that or want me to do it, and it just goes with the word of God saying that He's gonna confound something for the wise. Like people who think you're nothing, they think you're nobody, God gonna turn that whole thing around, and that's why, like, I even tell my children, I always talk to them, people don't believe who you are. Yes, we're far from perfect, but I say I try to give you guys everything that I know and I try to talk to you. I said, but you know what? I'm not Jesus and I'm not ever gonna, try to think. But my point is people they don't value who you are. You right in front of them. Like you right there. I'm giving you pearls. I'm giving you gems. I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to train you. I'm trying to give you so much. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's scary. I'll be like, God, it's so scary sometimes. Just if I even had the time and I won't, I can't. But just even the things that he has me doing right now, it's scary. He scares me because I'm being obedient and I'm doing it, praise God. But I be like, God, I'm not trying to die. Like I'm not ready to go. I'm setting these things in motion and I'm doing what you asked me to do. But, sometimes it gets a little bit scary, because you have the inheritance. It's so crazy. Even as I'm speaking right now, I'm leaving my children. I'll share a little bit if it's okay, Coach. I have to pack up and leave. I have to leave. I was supposed to do it by August, but I have to do it by April. So I'm packing. My mother just passed away recently. When you go through stuff like this and you go through it with your siblings, and it's so hurtful, and so I I am leaving. I'm preparing 3 baskets, 3 beds for all of my children. And even as I'm doing it, God is giving me, I want them to come together and I want them to, I'm putting different things in their basket. And I don't know if they're going to come together as siblings. I don't know to trust it. I don't know where you're going to be in your walk with God. I don't know if you're going to come back to God. Like I tell my kids sometimes, you guys are not doing the God thing. I raised them up in church their whole life. And so, sometimes when you, like they say, you go to church so much, then when they get grown, they depart, right? But I believe and I trust God, they're going to come back. But what I'm saying about the bins, I'm putting stuff in their bins. At first, I was putting just their stuff. But then I don't trust to know if they're going to come together. And so now I got to divvy it up. And I got to make sure that you have pictures of your baby sister and your brother. And I have to intermingle all this stuff in here. And it's really crazy, but it's foundation, right? It's leaving something behind. It's giving them what's theirs and a little bit more, and so I know this is kind of a little bit all over the place and I kind of got off track, but it's just in my mind, even as I'm speaking right now. But you know, I don't know. But I one thing that I know, and I don't care. I believe God because I know if God give you something and it is bigger, of course, right? This is huge. This is big. This is so bigger than me. God will provide. He will, like he said, he will provide a way of escape. He will provide a way for you to carry out the plan that he has set before you. And I just trust it. I don't know how it's going to happen, how it's going to all come together, but I know my assignment. And I've been doing this for years, but now it's big, right? Like, I'm going to take over the house or to take the school. We have a school. I want to, like, I heard some people on here talking about the youth. And I want to use the school to implement chess because they need to learn how to make moves strategically. I want to make sure that these kids know how to bank so that they are not wasting and blowing it all, and how to invest. I want to make sure, I mean, the halls I see in my head, and I'm thinking about these different rooms and how I could turn all these different rooms into something that is going to just make a huge difference from the young to the old. The old are to teach the young. They can't even do their job nowadays because of the way these kids are, with their mind and their attitude, and they're so rude and they're so disrespectful. But I thank God, and I'm just praising him even now, because I know that it's all gonna come together. I have to digress because I'm just a little bit too excited. But I see, they say, write the vision, make it plain, like you got to see it. And I thank God, like the vision, he gives me the vision. He gives me, but that stuff about being a dreamer, oh God, I'd be like, Lord, this don't make no sense. The only thing that throws me for a loop are my dreams. But when I tell you he be so on point, it's almost like red carpet laid out. I know what I'm supposed to do. I digress.
No, you don't. Thank you for sharing your heart and what's going on. You never know what somebody needed to hear or feel. And so thank you for sharing. Put up some hearts, everybody, for her as well in your dream, and congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
For those some of you all are here from different channels. Some of you know me for business. And you're like, wow, I thought this was going to be all about business. When are we going to get to the business stuff? Hang in there. This is all coming somewhere. If you know me, it all ties together. Trust me. Some of you don't know me for business. Some of you know me from the performing arts. Growing up, I went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and we performed in Marseille, France, Amsterdam, Paris, Toronto. So some of you know me from that. But even back then, if you knew me from back then, you knew that something was different, and that I had all these ideas I didn't come up with. Next thing you know, I'm that kid in high school with 5 lockers with snacks and candy for sale and trying to figure out what in the world that had to do with my purpose. And it all came together. Some of you know me from ministry. When I retired early, I got involved in youth ministry and homeless outreach. And some of you are on the path of your purpose, and you're trying to figure out, how do I fund it? Some of you have been on the path to funding. You've been building a business. You're an entrepreneur. You've been investing, but you're getting clarity on your purpose. There's something here for everyone. So stick around. And as we go through the 7 steps, we're going to lay the foundation with the 7 steps to claiming your freedom and living your purpose. But then we're going to go into some powerful things: financial education, some business strategies, life strategies, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to customize it for everyone who's here and what you need next in your journey. And sometimes it's just the right environment. Just being in this environment is empowering for some. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one on this dream. Some of you are like, wow, if I stick around this environment long enough, I'm going to be clear on my purpose and my assignment, my gift. Some of you are like, I'm gonna find somebody that can help me pull it off, or develop the mindset to do what my part is. God's already doing his part. He's waiting for us to do our part. Coach Cindy, I saw your hand up earlier. What was on your heart?
Well, first, Selena, we might have to collaborate on a nonprofit together, because it sounds like the wheel of life in, helping our youth. And so I think, everybody's gift comes out at some point, hopefully, before we all leave this earth. And until somebody like Coach Val comes and serves people to bring that out, sometimes we're running around in circles trying to figure out, what is it, God? What are you doing? What am I supposed to be doing? I have this idea and all these visions running around my head, but I don't know how to execute on them. And so, being in an environment in a circle like this is important. But what I wanted to share earlier was the choice, you know, when you were talking about choices. And had you not have had the choice as a young child to make that mistake of running out in the street and that happening to you, we may not all be here tonight. And so the power of choice, you know, I think about our kids, and I'll be honest with you, I was that mother that, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, yelling, you know, not allowing them to learn. I wanted to shelter them from making mistakes. And that was probably the one thing that I learned as a parent is, now looking back, I wish I would have just let them make the choice, but allow them to make an educated decision, you know, or at least a powerful decision that you can choose what you want to do, but this is the consequence if you do. And that could have allowed them maybe to discover a little bit more about themselves earlier. But now I'm blessed to say that my kids are the exact opposite of me. And so they're allowing them, their language is so different. But I wanted to share that because as we are learning from you and being empowered and taking notes, just reflection on what it is that we are all over the map about. What is our gift? Because one gift is unlocked for the next one to be unlocked, and it's a ricochet effect. And so if we not just take notes, but we execute on them and think about, okay, what do I need to do with that? Who do I need to connect with that person? Then we're serving our purpose, and we're going to serve it in a bigger manner than you never think, and never think it's too small, because every small gift unlocked is opening a bigger and bigger gift. Back to you, Coach Bell.
Woo, put up some hearts, Coach Cindy Soto. Me first now. Put your website in the chat, Coach Cindy. She's got some powerful things she's working on as well. And what you said, Coach Cindy, was so powerful. Do not despise small beginnings. Those baby steps. What can I do now? Sometimes if we're not careful and we're waiting for the whole vision to become clear, the whole plan to be presented to us before we take any action, we can let years and decades pass by. And sometimes God is just saying, all I want you to do is take this baby step that I gave you. And once you take this baby step, I'm going to tell you the next step. Some of you are waiting for the answer to where's the money going to come from, or who's going to help me with that, or that can't be the dream because I'm not good at that. And God is like, I didn't ask you to be good at all that. I just asked you to take a baby step on what I showed you, because what you don't realize that 3 steps from now, you're going to be ready to meet the person that I wanted to connect you with, who has that resource or that gift that you need to take the next step. But if you don't take the first step, you never get to the next step. Or if you don't take these steps while you're, learning how to crawl, learning how to walk, then you won't be ready for the person I want to introduce you to in the next few steps. So start where you are, start with what I showed you, take action, put some work to that faith that you say you have, and watch me work all the rest of the details out. So take the baby step. Take the baby step and just trust the journey, trust the process, trust it. See, the powerful thing about this poem, when I look at it, I'm like, wow, it's divinely inspired. This poem is divinely inspired. Every single sentence in this poem. Use it wisely and win. Use it poorly and lose. Use what wisely? If you use your gift of choice wisely, you will win. If you use your gift of choice poorly, you'll keep experiencing failure, keep experiencing loss. And guess what? The good news is, even if you've been using that poorly all your life, today can be the day that you start to use the gift of choice wisely. And the greatest choice you can ever make is the choice to realign with the one who gave you your purpose to begin with. Sometimes we don't know our purpose or the assignment, and we don't get to tap into all the resources that come with that, because all the resources you need come with that. And sometimes we don't get to experience it because we're asking everybody else for what our purpose is instead of going to the one who gave it to us. We're looking everywhere else for provision. We're looking for our job to provide. We're looking for our business to provide. We're looking all these places to provide, except for the provider who gave it all to us. Read, whether you believe the Bible or not, just read this story. Test it out. Test it out for yourself. Read it, not from a religious perspective. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about history. I'm talking about the king, his kingdom, and his royal family. That's what this is about. And when you understand that you are the child of a king, you understand that you are royalty, and you put your crown back on, your true identity, who you were truly born to be, all of a sudden, all the fears, all the circumstances, all the distractions fade away. You rise above it and realize, wow, I forgot who I was. I had amnesia for a second. I had identity theft, spiritual identity theft. That's the #1 problem. And he didn't send his son just to save us from hell. He sent his son to show us who we truly are, how to put that crown back on and start walking like the born CEOs we were born to be. It starts with choice, family. All right, so here's what I want to show when it comes to choice. Some practical principles I've learned. Success and failure in anything is a formula. One more time. Success and failure in anything is a formula. Somebody said it earlier. He's already laid out the formula. It's already laid out. All we have to do is align with it. And when we're all over the place doing our own thing, we can't even hear the voice trying to say, hey, hello, I got the answers for you. If you just put your crown back on, slow down enough to listen to me, talk to me, listen to me, I'm going to get, every time you listen to me, your life goes on another level. It doesn't mean you're not going to have troubles and struggles and challenges. In fact, you need some of those challenges to introduce you to what you're made of. There's some things inside of you you will never know are there until the right obstacle comes up in your life and you overcome it. And you realize, wow, I didn't even know I had that in me. So 2 choices. #1, choose success. Study and practice the formula. It can't be that simple. Yeah, it is. Choice number two is to choose failure. Don't study and practice the formula. I've learned this in business. I've learned this in life. I remember one of my first businesses was baking cake and taking it and selling it by the slice. As shy as I was, still getting over my self-worth issues. I'm walking around high school with a pan of cake until people asked me for some. And I was like, yeah, 50 cents, right? All timid. But on the back of the box, when I followed the recipe step by step, exactly the way it was laid out, the cake always came out successfully when I followed it in the right order, the exact way it was laid out. The minute I changed the plan, I changed the recipe, it didn't come out right. So I started learning that principle over and over and over again. And there's a concept, one of the most powerful concepts, called the slight edge. Great book. Great book. The Slight Edge by one of my mentors who taught me business, but he wrote this book about the power of choice. Here's what it says at the top. Our life is a direct reflection of our best thinking. And if we don't like what we see, then we need to take a closer look at those small daily decisions and make some adjustments. The slight edge is either working for you or against you. There is no standing still. So let me begin with the end in mind. The slight edge, well, I'll bring it in the beginning. Let's look at the middle here. The slight edge, it says, Jim Rohn talks about this, the great Jim Rohn, one of the best, the most life-changing program I ever got my hands on, besides the Bible itself, is a program called Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn. Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn. I hope you're taking notes. R-O-H-N as in Nancy. Best $40 I ever invested. And he talks about these 5 pieces to the life puzzle. He said, success or failure in life is so simple. He said, but it starts with our philosophy. And I'm going to break this down. Your philosophy, your beliefs. You either are operating on disempowering beliefs or empowering beliefs. Those 2 paths will take you to completely different outcomes. Whether it's a disempowering belief, thoughts and beliefs, or an empowering thoughts and belief, that will shape your attitude, your emotions, how you feel about it, how you feel about life, how you feel about whatever you're focused on will be shaped by your belief system, your thoughts and beliefs. That's your philosophy, which impacts your attitude. Your attitude, positive or negative, will impact your actions, what you do that become habits. What you do that becomes a habit, good or bad, those habits dictate your results in life, and those results dictate your lifestyle. So our finances, wherever our financial situation is today, good or bad, is a result of all those little choices that we've made. You can backtrack your lifestyle today, finances. All you have to do is backtrack to your results. It's based on the results that you produced. But don't just look at the results. The reason why we have those results is because of the actions that we've taken that have become our habits. But don't just stop at the actions. This is where people make their mistake. Whether it's with ourselves or if we mentor or coach others, this is where we make the mistake, is we try to change the actions. You got to do this, do. No. Actions come from what's been happening underground. You got to backtrack what's causing the actions. You backtrack your actions to the attitude, how you feel, and you backtrack your attitude to the philosophy, the thoughts and beliefs that you bought into to begin with. And what I want to point out today, I was talking to someone earlier. If you remember those Bugs Bunny cartoons, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, this is a cartoon, and every once in a while, you'll see a person and they're about to make a decision, and this little devil is on one shoulder whispering negative things in their ear to discourage them or disempower and get them off track. There's a little devil in one ear, and then there's a little angel in the other ear whispering empowering things. And when I think about that illustration, think about our lives. Imagine that all day long, there's a little devil whispering things in your left ear, and then there's a little angel whispering positive things in your right ear. And whichever voice you listen to is going to influence your choices. And so our finances today, we are where we are today, whether it's our finances, our health, our business, our growth, our relationships, based on all those little choices we made or neglected to make for the past 5 years. That's good news for some, that's bad news for others. But the great news is, where we end up 5 years from now will be a result of all the little choices we make or neglect to make over the next 5 years. We can literally transform our entire lives in 5 years or less. How empowering is that? How empowering is that? And it's based on the choices. And so those who listen to the empowering voice and allow empowering thoughts and beliefs, the truth about who we are, what we're capable of, and the principles, the formulas for success to dictate our thoughts and beliefs, which shape our attitude and our actions and our results, we're on this slight edge going up. First, it looks like nothing's changing. You're doing it. It's like a plane on that runway. It seems like it's not working, but you stay consistent. All of a sudden, that plane takes off, and you wind up on the slight edge going up, where 5% end up. 5%. Only 5% figure this out. And we're not talking about major, like life-changing, like huge choices. We're talking about those small, simple choices, like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. What if that's true? Wait, is that easy or hard to eat an apple? Easy. But what's easy to do is just as easy not to do. One of the most life-changing principles I ever learned. So it's easy to do. You do it, you do it, you do it, you do it. Doesn't seem like anything's working. You're not all of a sudden in tip-top health because you eat an apple a day. But those choices compounded over time, all of a sudden, people look up years from now and go, wow, how'd you get where you are? I just kept making those little daily choices, empowering choices over and over again when it seemed like it wasn't working, but I stayed consistent. And then the compound effect finally kicked in like an airplane taking off, and I ended up here. Those who choose, yeah, I hear that, but I'm gonna drink a Coca-Cola a day. You know, I'm gonna eat a Snickers bar every day, a candy every day. It doesn't make that big. I'm gonna eat a burger a day. Doesn't make that big of a difference. They seem like they're just as healthy as you for a while. Then all of a sudden, those choices compound over time, and we wind up in the bottom 95% that are not getting the results that we want. That's that slight edge. So the formula for success is I could, I should, and I did. The little things. I could, I should, and I did. The formula for failure is very similar. I could take a walk every day, eat an apple a day, invest 10% every month into an investment account, put 10% into my debt-free account and pay off that smallest debt faster, and then pay off the next one. I could give 10%. I could make a positive impact in somebody's life today. I could do an act of kindness every day, simple to do. I could, I should, and I did. That's the formula for success. The little things, the easy to do things, not the hard stuff. The formula for failure is I could, I should, but I didn't. That's it. Today is all that matters. Today. Tomorrow is just a bunch of todays strung together. Today, I could, I should, I did. Here's the worst version of failure. I could, I should, but I won't. Whoa. I know the little simple things I could do. I should do them. They're easy to do, but for whatever reason, I won't. That's how we end up down here. The people who end up on that slight edge going up, they do what's uncomfortable early, but it becomes comfortable later. It becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, your habits will put your results on autopilot. How many like a simple life of freedom, of automation, of simplicity, the stress-free version? That's when you focus on the little things that become a habit, and it puts success on autopilot. You don't have to strain and force it and work hard. This whole society now, what's the big thing? I'm on my grind. I got to grind. No, if you just did the simple little things every day and go play, go have fun. Read this book, The Slight Edge. Listen to the audio. The intro will rock your world. You'll probably find it for free on YouTube. Get it on Audible. Get the book. The Slight Edge, apply it to your life. The people who end up successful in any area of life, and this applies to each area of life, the easy thing. Here's a question to ask. What are the easy things that I can do that will take me one step closer to where I ultimately want to be? And here's the temptation. That little devil on the shoulder, on your left shoulder, will say, oh, that's going to take too long. You don't have time to do all that. You better find some shortcuts in life. Let me tell you something. Sometimes the longest distance between 2 points is a shortcut. You do all that trying to take a shortcut. I remember I was driving through Washington, D.C., where I'm from, Maryland. And GPS told me, here's the shortest way to get there. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm trying to remember where I was at, near a metro station in the Maryland area. somewhere between DC, maybe near Landover. And I remember I was like, wait a minute, this is a shortcut. I took this shortcut so I thought it added 30 minutes. If I'd have just gone what I thought was the long way, I would have got there 30 minutes faster. This one little shortcut cost me 30 minutes, and I could hear that voice saying, what'd you learn? And I remember the lesson. Sometimes a shortcut, the longest distance between 2 points, sometimes is a shortcut. What we think is a shortcut. You know, sometimes we feel like we're so behind, I got to catch up now. So I don't have time to walk up 365 flights of stairs. One step a day, you'll be at the top of the stair in 1 year. One step a day. Take one step a day in that direction, and 365 days, you'll be there. Catch this example. So one person says, I'm going to take my one step a day, enjoy my life, keep it simple. I'm not going to stress out. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Why worry about your life? What you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, know about the body, what you're going to put on. Sufficient for today is its own trouble. Just focus on today. Connect with me today. Align with me today. Pray today. Talk to me. Let me talk to you. Let me guide you. Put your crown back on today and take that baby step today and watch how your life is stress-free. Take one step. All right. Next day, you take another step. Next day, you take another step. You're on this slight edge going in the right direction, going up. Everybody else is looking at you like you're crazy. One step a day, you're never going to get there. Forget that. You know what? I'm going to take 10 steps back and I'm going to try to take this flying leap up these steps. I'm going to cut this thing down. I'm going to take the shortcut. So they go take this flying leap. And the worst thing that could ever happen is they actually make it and land on step number 10. Now they're getting confident. Oh my God, you are so stupid. You're taking one step a day. You better be like me. I leaped once and I'm on step number 10. And you're like, I'm just going to take my one step a day. So the next day they go, whatever, I'm going to take another flying leap. And they go run and they jump and they land on step number 15. You're still on step number 2, one at a time. They're laughing at you. You're even going, God, I don't know about this patient stuff. They're all ahead of me. I need to hurry up. I need to hit the lottery. I need to make something happen. Well, you take another step the next day. The other person takes a flying leap for, man, I got to step 15 and 2 flying leaps. I'm going to go to step 30 tomorrow. They jump, they leap, and they miss this time. And they stumble all the way back down, step 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 20, 15, 10. They're back down at step 0. You're on step number 4. Now they're like, oh my gosh, I was all up. This sounds like gambling. Doesn't it sound like gambling? I was so ahead. I learned my lesson about gambling in high school. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I never gambling again. God said, would you learn? Stop trying to take these shortcuts. Get rid of that lottery mentality, trying to make it happen overnight. Fast money, fast this, fast that, fast results, instant gratification. That's not how I set it up. If you just trust me, not only will you get there, but when you get there, you'll be able to stay there because I developed you every step of the way. You're on step number 5. This person is now like, I got to catch up. I was on step 25. Now I'm really behind. I'm not going to let you slow pokes beat me. So they keep taking leaps. Fast forward to the end of the story. 365 days from now, not only are you there, you are developed. You're not stressed out. You're not bruised up, broken bones. This person is still taking flying leaps 5 years from now, trying to take shortcuts in life. They were laughing at you that whole time. You're crazy. What are you doing? They were getting better results, faster results. God said, I got you. A little bit every day. Take these baby steps. Stay in alignment with me. I got you. My way is the fastest way and the sustaining way. So family, what I want to leave you with today is we cover chapter 2 of the book, step 2. Own your choices. I want you to remember the slight edge. What's easy to do. Simple disciplines made consistently over time. That's the way. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy idea. Be responsibility driven. Develop the habits, the discipline based on good values. And then the people that choose not to, here's what happens. They only do what's comfortable early, and then life becomes very uncomfortable later. They deal in blame and neglect. They feel entitled. I deserve such and such. And they just keep repeating this cycle over and over and over for the rest of their lives until finally they wake up, if they do, and get on this slight edge going up. Remember, what's easy to do is just as easy not to do. The people who go to the top do those simple disciplines made consistently over time. The people who stay at the bottom make simple errors in judgment every day, made over time. Final comments, takeaways. What impacted you today, and what are you going to implement this week in your journey? Let's hear from a couple people before we wrap up.
I guess I'll say something. This is Trinell Harris. One thing, this has been a continuation of awesomeness, and being able to hear other people speak on their lives. And I'm taking away, the biggest thing for me is focusing on, well, making the little things important. That's what it is. It's making it's the mindset of making the little things important, because the little things make the big things. It's like putting a puzzle together, and that's what we're doing. We're putting the picture of our puzzles together, and our life is the puzzle. And we already can see the puzzle picture. Just like when we go and get that puzzle, they give us they tell us, they show us exactly what the puzzle is going to look like. But then we open the box and we have all these little pieces. And I think you actually gave an example of something like that as far as putting pieces of the puzzle together. And when you look at it, even outside of yourself, we have our inner puzzle pieces, but then we also have, we're a puzzle piece that fits with everyone else in some way, shape, or form. And that's where the networking, that's where the collaborating, that's where the fellowship comes in, because that's just important, because that puzzle piece had to get put together in some way, shape, or form in order to make a full puzzle piece to help create the big picture. And if we look at things like in that way, or at least begin to, or continue to work on looking at things that way, it doesn't make it easier. Well, it makes it a little easier. It doesn't take away the hardships that you go through, but it does make it just that much easier to make the right choices that we need to make as we're living our day-to-day lives, and as we're communicating with each other and fellowshipping with each other, networking with each other for whatever reason that we are.
Love it. And what are you going to implement this week?
Paying attention to my little choices.
Awesome. Show some love, everybody. And go ahead and answer in the chat, everybody. What did you take away, and what are you going to implement this week? We'll take a few, raise your digital hands as well. Miss Chantel. Miss Gant.
What I took away from today, or what you just said, was also celebrating along the way the little wins. So if you wanted to be an executive in our business, if you want to be an executive director, but you just PCQ'd, I mean, celebrate that, because that counts, because that's still the path to get to where you want to go. And what I'm going to implement this week is just what I said, celebrating my little wins. So as I do something, most times I just go be like, oh yeah, like I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm nonchalant, like, oh yeah, that's great. But or I don't want to celebrate because I'm not where I'm at. So like if they call, I hate to admit this, but I do this. But when they call, I'm tired of being a director, right? So I kind of, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to stand up for director no more. Like, I'm done with that. Like, that's in my mind. But it's okay for me, to just be like, I'm a director, but I'm on the path to going to such and such, right? And so not it's almost like I don't want to be ungrateful because a director means a lot. I mean, I made it. I'm put in the work for that. So trying to implement the small wins, but also embracing where I'm going as well.
Love it. Congratulations in advance. And for those that don't know those terms, some people here are in business with me or they're in business building, but the principles are still the same, whether it's applying to your life, applying to your business, applying to your family. Celebrate those small victories and do not despise small beginnings. How does that apply to your life? Who else? Miss Scott, what did you pick up tonight and what are you going to implement this week?
If I could just get a minute to ask Miss Chantel to come back on camera. I wanted to speak to you directly initially.
Yes.
So, and then if that's okay, Coach, first I need to get permission because that's taking up some time. Is that all right?
If it's real brief, otherwise y'all can exchange information and connect.
I'll make it brief.
All right.
So what I would say to you, Chantel, is be encouraged, right? Because I am a manager and I am sick and tired of being stuck or feeling stuck and manager. Okay. And every time, I set the goal, but I'm running a race that my team is, I guess, not ready for. And so I'm running faster than what they can comprehend and catch up with. And so I feel like I don't have the necessary support to make it to the next step. But I tell you what, I would trade places with you. So be encouraged to just, I don't want to say that you're not grateful, but it took the work for you to get there. So be encouraged in the spot that you're in because someone else, really, I'm telling you, I want it and I'm coming for it, but it's just taking me a little bit longer. So I digress. Be encouraged. What I wanted to say is my takeaway for tonight is you're welcome. It's basically just that, I have to, you have to celebrate those small wins. You have to, like, okay, something else you mentioned. You don't have to come back on camera, but I made PCQ 2 times in a row, and I got to go to the dinner, with big people, and I felt like I'm so little, it's people there who've been there for months and years and all that. But baby, listen, I'm here. So I needed to celebrate myself and I needed to be proud of my win. That was a win. That's something different. That's a different path that I'm on, like I said. But so to wrap it up is to be proud of yourself. We are worst critic, and so we have to give ourselves a break sometime and we have to be grateful and thankful that we're in the race. Baby, listen, somebody's not even in the race at all. They ain't even on the map. They not even trying. But praise be to God that we have vision. You know what I mean? We are running the race. But what he said, how did he say to run it? Watch the word. You have to run it with patience. You have to run it with temperance. You have to be, okay where you are and know that God is with you, So I digress, but listen, I'm taking the small wins. I'm taking those baby steps. Listen, I'm embracing it all. And guys, listen, I put notes in the chat. I don't have time to speak to you directly and look at my notes, but the notes that Mr. Coach was just speaking on, I put it in the chat and I take a screenshot of it because sometimes you have to reflect. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, listen, it's okay. I got to run my race. I can't run the race that Chantel is running. I have to run my race. You have to stay focused like the bridle You have to, like that horse, he puts them bridles on for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be careful to know that I can't run your race and you can't run mine. But praise be to God, if we just take it, like he was saying, one step at a time, one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? You can't, when you put food in your mouth, you can't eat that whole thing. Matter of fact, don't we teach our kids, don't you stuff your mouth? Don't do that. You don't do that. So yet again, this is what we don't, it's not for us to do it that way. Praise God. So we just be encouraged. Ask God, Lord, what would you have for me to do this day? Today, one day at a time. What is my assignment to today, God? Whose life am I going to change? Who would you put in my path that I can speak life into? Make a difference. Just the one that, Coach, please, I'm going to say this and shut up. That's something that I do every day. I say, God, you know, Jesus came for the one. So my thing is, God, if you would just give me one person that I could be a blessing to today. You know, we say, God, use me, Lord, but you don't know how he gonna use you. You just have to be ready. You just have to be willing, a willing vessel, you know? And so sometimes, you know, my kids have watched me. My kids have watched me. And girl, I don't care where we at. Let me tell you, everybody can't be in the pulpit. I be in a grocery store. I don't care where I'm at. If God give me something to say to somebody and I get into a conversation with them, before you know it, I'm talking to you. I'm closing out in prayer. Girl, we done had the benediction. What you talk about? But that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? I digress, y'all. Be encouraged.
Oh wow, put up some love, everybody in the chat. I appreciate you sharing that. Miss Nicole, was that your hand up a second ago?
Yes, it was.
Yes, ma'am. Talk
I
to
just
us.
want to tell you, Chantel, too, I'm stuck at director. Don't worry. We're going to get there. My takeaway is one step at a time. You don't win with the shortcuts. You have to take, we try to rush things so much, you know, if I do it this way, you know, it'll work faster, but you have to stay focused. You know, I'm trying to build a team, you know, falling apart. They don't want to do, you know, what they, you know, to come in and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm ready for it. And then a week and a half later, where are they? But, you know, I'm encouraged, I'm staying put, and I'm going to grow. That's all I know.
Congrats in advance. For those who are in business, especially if you're in the direct sales business, direct marketing, network marketing, here's a tip for you. If you want to go to the next level, you get there by helping other people get to your current level. And if you despise your current level, that does not make me want to take your place. Hint, hint, hello, somebody. So be as excited about it as you were when you got there. And then I have a chance, if I'm watching you, to be inspired as well. Your job, write this down, is to advertise your position. Now, for all my
I just want to
business
say
folks,
that's good. Sorry.
For all of my business folks, I do a boot camp every month. If you're in network marketing, direct sales, home-based business, or you want to learn how I was able to retire at 22 years old, that's a separate coaching program. Go to BornCEO.com, look up Network Marketing Boot Camp. Once a month, I do a boot camp and take 3 hours and break it down so that it can forever be broken and simplified. For those who've been a part of it, you know. And so be mindful, though, for those who are in business, that there are people here that don't know what you're talking about. For those of you who are in church, there are people that don't know what you're talking about. So be mindful of the audience as you're sharing, but do share about your journey, because these principles are universal principles. Anybody else? One more person? What did you take away tonight? And everybody post in the chat which takeaway, and then what you're going to do to implement this week. Coach Cindy.
I just wanted to share one powerful thing that I did a couple of years ago, and that was getting rid of my limiting beliefs. And so very briefly, I got a jar. I don't care, get a cup, whatever you want, and start just scrap pieces of paper, tearing them off and writing down every time you say something like, I can't, or I'm not good enough to do that, or I'm not smart enough, or I haven't done this, or I can't be this level, or I can't go there because, or it's my fault, or whatever it is, and start putting those in the jar. When it gets full, it's not going to ever be, it's an endless jar. Let me tell you that first. So you always want to refill it, because every time you refill it, it's such a big release out of your life, and the toxicity goes. And for me, I went to Miami, I did the exercise, I threw these limiting beliefs out into the ocean, and within months I was at the next level in my business. So it works. It's your mind, it's rehabbing your mindset, it's rehabbing your soul. And when you do that, watch how you get to the next level in your life, in your marriage, or in your business, and everything changes for you. Back to you.
Powerful. Wow, wow, wow. Put up some hearts, everybody, for everyone. Post in the chat what you're going to implement, what you took away, what you're going to implement. I see Miss Val Harris says, my takeaway is taking the little steps to get where you want to be. Celebrate your small wins as well. Powerful. Tawana says, I will eat the elephant one bite at a time. This week, I will take small steps and praise God for it. One tip, everybody's always heard, how does a lion eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. But I want to remind you that not only does a lion eat an elephant one bite at a time, but they never eat the elephant alone. Every time you see a lion in the Nature Channel take down an elephant, it's a pride of lions. It's a team. So not only do you eat an elephant-sized goal one bite at a time, but you bring a team of people together to help you do it. And I pray that this environment becomes a part of your support team in every aspect of life, of discovering who you are truly born to be, so that you can do what you were born to do and live like you were born to live. Freedom is your birthright. Abundance is our birthright. Making a positive impact on this world, that's our birthright. So as we go and build our lives, as we go build businesses, life, families, whatever it is that you're doing, let's go out there and take one more step today towards who we were called to be and what we were called to do. Love you all. Have a great week. Bring people back. I want to see more young people on here, teenagers and adults of all ages. Bring them back. Send them over to BornCEO.com/BCLA, BornCEO Leadership Academy, to get registered. Make sure when you registered, you got an email that has a link to our Facebook group, the Born CEO Movement. Go in the group, get to know each other, comment on the post in there, interact, share your progress, your lessons learned. Let's grow the community, invite people into the community, and let's continue to grow together. Next week is gonna be amazing as we go into step number 3, rule your time. If you don't have the book, you can get it from BornCEO.com. Look it up on the drop-down menu, get the book, and let's grow together, implement it together, and bring more people back to claim their freedom and live their purpose. Love you all. Have a great week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Love you guys. Have a blessed, safe week, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Coach.
If you're sticking around, listen to this song.
You got to turn it up.
Called to every nation, everyone big and small. This is a chance to take your places before the final trumpet call. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. First quench your thirst. That's love and loyalty. Stop talking about who be the greatest. That stuff be boring me. Don't be in my convo talking paychecks and royalties. We live to see him internationally known. We bow at his feet, take our crowns, cast to the throne. And yeah, you only live once, and he'll be calling you home. That day you just been right at the throne, you'll be at it alone. Yeah, and people sleeping, it's time to wake up, daydreamer. I serve, I am the way, the real gatekeeper. Talk about him, show the proper respect. Some die for disrespecting off the side of their neck. Yeah, you only have one life for him, so live it. And these days, people be dying off in an instant. It don't matter if the people ever come to notice me. I got the spirit that raised Christ from the dead, royalty.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Whether I'm in love with my